The rain lashed the narrow streets like an enraged cat clawing at its prey. Amidst the murmur of water and the clatter of wheels on cobblestones, heavy footsteps echoed. A man in a drenched coat, his black hair a wild tangle, burst into the tavern like a storm. Dragniew paid no mind to the stares of the patrons. He had come in because he had had enough of the rain, and even more so, enough of his empty purse. He shrugged off his soaked coat, letting it fall onto the nearest chair, and sat at the bar with a heavy thud. A tankard and some work, he muttered, looking up at the innkeeper. The man behind the counter didn't look surprised. Dragniew had been here before, and his reputation preceded him by a few crossed swords. "There's a job," the innkeeper said, filling a mug, "but it's different from the usual." Dragniew took the beer, eyeing him warily. He was a warrior, not a courier or some royal lapdog. "Speak." The innkeeper leaned in, lowering his voice. "The old mill by the river. Something's taken up residence there. No one dares go near it. The last one who tried came back with white hair and eyes like glass. He doesn't speak, doesn't eat, just sits in the corner shaking like an aspen in the wind." Dragniew took a long sip, calculating how much a job like that might be worth. "How much are they paying?" "More than you've got in your purse." "That'll do." The night was dark, and the forest around the mill was as silent as a temple. Dragniew approached the broken door and slipped inside. The air was thick with dampness, dust, and something else. Something that made the hairs on his neck stand on end. He moved forward cautiously. Each step felt too loud in the oppressive silence. As he reached the center of the room, the air around him thickened, as if someone had just lifted the lid off a pot full of steam. Something skittered across the floor. Dragniew drew his weapon and held his breath. In the corner, something stirred, a shadow, an indistinct shape. "If you're trying to scare me, stop it," Dragniew said, his voice as firm as steel. The shadow lifted its head. Two glowing orbs flickered in the dark. Those were not human eyes. "Leave this place," whispered a voice that had no right to sound human. Dragniew had no intention of backing down. He took a step forward, and at that moment the shadow lunged at him. This was not a fight of strength, but of will. The longer Dragniew stared into those glowing eyes, the more he felt something clawing at his mind, trying to plant fear within him to make him flee. He clenched his fists. "Sorry, but I'm not the quitting type." He charged at the shadow, which recoiled. With each passing moment, he felt its influence weaken. Finally, he reached for the rune-sealed talisman at his belt. The shadow let out a wail and dissolved like mist in the wind. From the darkness, a figure emerged. A Vodyanoi. Its skin had a bluish tint, and wet hair clung to its skull. Its eyes gleamed like riverstones. "I was trapped here long ago," the creature whispered. "This place held me prisoner." Dragniew glanced at the seal. It was old, cracked, covered in moss. With a swing of his sword, he chipped it away and let it fall to the ground. The Vodyanoi lifted its head as if sensing relief. "Go," Dragniew said, "but don't harm anyone." The creature gave a slow nod and vanished into the night. Back at the tavern, the innkeeper looked at him expectantly. "Sorted?" he asked. Dragniew tossed a rotting wooden plaque onto the counter, the remnants of an ancient symbol carved into it. "Old magic. Someone put it there years ago. Probably had no idea what they were doing." The innkeeper nodded and slid the promised gold across the counter. Dragniew pocketed the coin and sat back down. "What now?" the innkeeper asked. Dragniew raised his tankard. "Now, we drink, and then we'll see who else the world has decided to screw over."